Ori and the Will of the Wisps is the sequel to the 2015 Ori and the Blind Forest, developed by Moon Studios and published by Microsoft Studios. The game released on March 11, 2020 for Xbox One and PC on Xbox Game Pass. I played it on Xbox Game Pass for $1, which is disgusting because this is one of those games that confuses people when you talk to them about it. You won't stop using words like beauty and emotion, and they're like, is this not the same dude that was playing Call of Duty a week ago? Your friends wonder why you keep unabashedly Discord streaming this game that they've all heard of, but for some reason have never picked up. And it drives you mad because damn, this game is good. I'm Anthony Wilborn and this is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. You're gonna like the way you cry, I guarantee it. This is not Ori's first rodeo, and it shouldn't be yours either. Will of the Wisps continues the story of Ori, though not so much as friends, dutifully picking up where the first game, Ori and the Blind Forest, left off. Look, you do not need to play the first game, and the story doesn't care if you did either, because Moon Studios, in both games, creates a tale that goes after your visceral emotions in a way that's going to tug at your familiarity with being a decent human being, no matter how big of a jerk you are in real life or how many posters of Ori you already have on your wall. But you would be remiss to not try the first game. It's a stage of tense set pieces and incredible music composed by a guy by the name of Gareth Coker, who you definitely know because he did the music for Minecraft Chinese mythology. The point is, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is less the continuation of a great story, but really just an unadulterated evolution of a 2015 game that truly surprised and amazed a lot of people. Ori and the Blind Forest is half the length of Will of the Wisps, and you can play it for literally the same dollar you paid to play Will of the Wisps. So do it first or do it after. Either way, your skill in one will translate to the other, and that'll be important because in Will of the Wisps, you're going to need to get good. Wall jumping, grappling, gliding, dashing, lassoing, burrowing, all in a single set piece, heart pounding, mirroring the background, yelling.
Turn the fucking music down, I can't hear RuPaul.
Damn, this game is a roller coaster. Moon Studios gives you just about every tool you could imagine to control Ori, with every move providing a distinct interaction with the environment. You get better and better and better until you spend about as much time on the ground as you do outside in Wisconsin. This is a game that puts you in the air and expects you to live there. And when you're feeling it, you'll catch yourself using every single one of the tools that you've been offered in a meaningful conjunction with one another, to the point where not only do you recognize the immersion of your skill, but you are genuinely satisfied with the way you navigate this world. The challenge is right, and while this new chapter openly touts influences on its combat from games like Hollow Knight, it has only itself and its prequel to thank for a world design that makes every movement option feel meaningful and necessary. Combat receives the biggest overhaul as Ori no longer attacks enemies using spirit charges to perform short-ranged attacks and has instead been given access to the Hollow Knight's sword, and that's awesome. This is a more difficult game than its predecessor, and where Ori and the Blind Forest had no boss fights to speak of, this game has soul-destroying bosses that will have you get up, walk away, speak some nonsense to a pet, take a drink of water, a deep breath, and then sit back down and try again. But this isn't Dark Souls, and consequences are light. There's plenty of checkpoints. No more getting cast back to the other side of the map because you forgot to put down a spirit well. But don't think for a second that the game is going to let you keep that life orb you just picked up and then died trying to get back to solid ground. You're going to have to redo that and complete the sequence for the game to give you credit. You're going to casually find spirit shards that give opportunities to play to your strengths, or in some cases, make up for your weaknesses. These are not builds. These are power slots that can alter the way your combat or movement abilities work, and most of them can be upgraded for more powerful effects. By the end of my playthrough, I was sliding up to 8 shards for different effects. The same goes for combat abilities. You don't just get the sword, but a 12-slot ability wheel that can be toggled and navigated mid-dash, jump, or swing. Your abilities are gathered, given, or earned, and mostly all useful, but you're not likely to get the same mileage out of all of them. Some of that is chalked up to player choice, but it's safe to say that while you're allowed to swap combat-centric and utility abilities in and out across 3 buttons at any time, you are likely always going to have your channeled heal ability and your sword taking up 2 of these slots. Some are discrete weapons like a bow and arrow, a giant hammer, or a boomerang that can each be modified or upgraded by spending Spirit Light. But after 20 hours and 98%, I still don't even own 2 of them. It's not for lack of power, but I quickly identified the bow that can be modified with a short-range shotgun burst of arrows, my sword, and a constant flux of utility abilities as my go-to rotation. In future replays, I already know how I would switch it up, and switching it up on the fly is something you'll need to do if you want to get the most out of your movement and utility. Whether it's the nimble fluid movement or varied approaches to combat that keep you engaged, Ori will force you to master both and give you ample opportunity to demonstrate your skills and die trying. And much of that is owed to this game's talented level designers who were right to stay the course from 2015. Ori's debut in Blind Forest dedicates vast swaths of 2D landscape to single set-piece escapes, and they really were standout experiences that stuck with you. In Will of the Wisps, they build on that concept and incorporate even more movement into these bobsled gauntlets. That said, Ori's new island is teeming with life, both ready to kill you and befriend you. Will of the Wisps makes exploring and retracking through snow, desert, lush jungles, caves, and volcanic rock anything but a chore because the mechanics of the game that prevent access are not jarring roadwork signs, nor are they discrete collages of indistinguishable terrain, but clear and obvious environmental fabrics sewn seamlessly into the world. You know where you can go and where you can't, and when the day arrives that you can, you know how. Yes, a myriad of secret inlets and destructible terrain hide some of Ori's more powerful upgrades, but the game's quest progression aids you in relinquishing the world of all of its secrets if you're willing to connect some dots. This island is more colorful and varied than the last, but it's the creatures that live within it that give it a color unfound in its predecessor. The Moki are a species of small creatures that look up to you in the promise of times past that you represent. They cautiously accept you into their lives and require help in cute and odd ways that can sometimes lead to an unexpected consequence that can honestly take you aback a little. Other characters like Talk will offer clues to finding secrets, or Twillin, who offers to upgrade your spirit shards for Spirit Light. Gareth Coker is never getting away from this. This is why art is the hard life. Once you do something this good, I don't know what else you do. This is some of the best, most thoughtfully composed music in a game ever. You will find yourself a month after beating the game literally stuck, listening to the soundtrack on YouTube with your eyes closed, somber as hell, thinking about some of your own issues, and then it hits you that this music is more than the game is delivered in, but sounds that are yours to attach to whatever it is you're feeling when you're feeling it. I can't thank Gareth enough for putting his heart and soul into this music so I can sink into it and filter the events of my own world through the sounds of Ori's. What's it all about? Ori and the Will of the Wisps is a game that winds together the pillars of sound, feel, control, and color into such amazing codependency that the weight of your controller won't feel the same when you start your next game. If you like games, have emotions, and have not had a good cry in a while, and you're not paying $1 to play this game, I don't know what to tell you. Society must have some martial grip of illogical decision making on you, and you need to set yourself free. Connect your PayPal to Xbox Game Pass. As cringy as I know that sounds for some of you, pay $1 and sit down and give 15 hours, 15 Counter-Strike matches, 15 episodes of Black Mirror, or just uninstall Reddit from your phone for a week and play this amazing, artful, and unique game. You're gonna love the way you cry, I guarantee it.